Hey, I'm Markeia.
Want to hear something scary?
Beware the Curupira. Deep in the jungles of Brazil are those who would do whatever it takes to protect their sacred land. Get in their way at your own risk. Alex and Marla were excited for their family's vacation to Brazil. It had been Anna's idea, a chance for their fractured family to bond. Of Alex and Marla's 2 children, Anna was their golden child, well-behaved and very clever with straight A's. Her older brother Seb was, well, the opposite, in both grades and in maturity. Anna had also been born deaf, and Seb resented her for that as well. No matter how his parents tried to reward or discipline him, he always seemed to push back. He would claim that although he'd come first, he felt second best. Along with healing their family dynamic, Alex and Marla hoped this vacation would help Seb garner some control over his increasingly hostile behavior, especially towards his sister. They landed in Sao Paulo and took a bus to a beautiful campsite. As they drove through the entrance, they saw a sign that read Vida Melhor, that meant better life, and it was. The site had its own lake and the cabins were charming. They were a day ahead of the usual vacationing crowds, so would even have a peaceful night all to themselves. But heading over to check-in, the signs posted became more ominous. In capital letters, they warned campers to pick up after themselves and to respect the grounds, because if they did not, they would face the wrath of the Curupira. Alex and Marla chuckled. What a cute way to remind guests not to drop trash. But Anna was curious and Googled Curupira on her phone. Hey, so a Curupira does exist, she continued. It's a mythical creature whose name means covered in blisters. It has red and orange hair. Its feet are backwards as a way to throw off anything hunting after it. As she read aloud, her parents smiled, but Seb just rolled his eyes. Nobody asked you. That's so dumb, he scoffed. Well, let's hope we don't make it mad then, Anna warned. It says here that it gives off a high-pitched noise that can make people go insane. Kicking at some loose dirt, Seb grabbed his stuff and stormed into the cabin. That evening, it was clear Seb wasn't having a good time. He didn't want to swim or fish with everyone else and complained 24/7. The rest of the family was having a blast, while Seb became increasingly agitated. After dinner, Alex, Marla, and Anna sat around a fire pit making s'mores and looking out over the lake. It was blissful until Seb appeared, his negative energy immediately dampening the mood. He teased Anna about still enjoying kid snacks, then grabbed her treat and threw it into the water. When Anna got upset over him bullying her yet again, Seb stormed off, kicking a trash can onto the ground, causing its contents to spill everywhere. At his mother's look, Seb then sneered and ran inside the cabin, slamming the door. Anna begged and pleaded to sleep with her parents tonight, just in case Seb tried to take it out on her. Alex shook his head, saying he'd be taking Seb fishing early in the morning so they could talk it out. He asked Marla to make sure Anna would be okay tonight. Later that night, there was rustling outside of Seb's bedroom window. Then, a tapping, as if someone was trying to get his attention. He sat up groggily, just as a shadow passed by the window. Figuring it was some type of a prank, Seb jumped from his bed to see who was messing with him. He crept out the front door and looked around. There was nobody there. He turned to go back inside and was quickly shoved to the ground. Looking back over his shoulder, his indignation turned to abject fear. The Curupira loomed over him. Covered in bright orange hair like a Sasquatch, its face was half human and half animal. Its mouth opened, revealing 3-inch-long teeth, and it let out a horrific wail. Seb covered his ears, but it was no use. The resonating noise made him feel like red-hot needles were being poked into his brain. Alex startled awake at an unearthly howl and rushed out of the main bedroom. He checked on Anna first. She was still loudly snoring away with Marla asleep next to her wearing earplugs. He saw Seb's room was empty and tiptoed outside. He saw a giant, hairy creature picking something up, maybe some type of large animal, and slamming it down repeatedly over a stump. Usually, he would run away at such a sight, but something compelled him forward. And that's when he saw that this monstrous orange thing had Seb, his son. His body lay twisted over the stump, his back and neck broken. Howling himself, Alex grabbed a heavy branch and ran towards this murderous thing. The creature lobbed him into a huge tree, killing him instantly. Anna and Marla slept on, totally unaware of what had transpired. The next morning, Marla walked through the empty cabin. "Alex? Seb?" she called out, wondering where they could be. Then she stepped outside and saw the carnage. There was so much blood, and that was when it sank in and she started to scream. Other campers were arriving and heard her, quickly rushing to her aid, alerting the authorities and moving her away from the distressing scene. Anna was still rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as her mother ran in and engulfed her in an embrace. Her mother held her, shaking as she tearfully tried to explain and sign what had happened. Anna looked shocked, and she buried her face into her mom's chest. And there, her expression quickly turned to satisfaction. As it was Anna who had chosen this place to begin with, having researched the Curupira, she knew how her horrific bully of a brother would behave, and she knew that her inability to hear the fatal screech would keep her and her parents safe, who wore earplugs at night whenever she slept with them due to her loud snoring. Her dad, Alex, had been an unfortunate byproduct of her plan, but she had begged them both, and because her dad had allowed Seb to get away with so much bullying, it seemed only fair in the end. Now it was just her and her mom.
What are your favorite spring cleaning projects? Cleaning out your closet, tossing your old makeup. It's also a great time to do some mental decluttering too. Over time, thoughts and emotions can build up. You may feel overwhelmed by it all. It might be time to think about scheduling an appointment to connect with a therapist at Talkspace. Therapy has made a huge difference in my life, and I'm pretty sure it'll make a big difference in yours too. So for anyone who's looking to get started with therapy, I recommend Talkspace because they make it so easy to match with a licensed therapist and schedule a session. Talkspace therapists are available to speak anytime you need. And you can also get unlimited messages with your dedicated therapist. But no matter where you are in your mental health journey, talking to a therapist who's trained to help makes a huge difference. If thoughts and emotions are piling up, fresh perspective can help you feel better. Match with your dedicated therapist today at Talkspace.com and use promo code SCARY during sign-up to get $100 off your first month. That's $100 off at Talkspace.com, promo code SCARY.
If you'd like to submit a story, send me an email at SomethingScary@Snarled.com. Like and share this video if it gave you the chills. And don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and turn on the bell for notifications. And if you dare, follow me on social media. Until next time, my dark darlings, sweet dreams.